Animal nutrition, homeostatic control of blood sugar levels, importance of a balanced diet, malnutrition, tooth decay, effects of alcohol and drug abuse. Aim of lesson. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to know the hormonal control of glucose concentration in the blood, know what diabetes is and the different types of diabetes, know the importance of a balanced diet, know what malnutrition is and its effects, know the effects of alcohol and drug abuse and the dangers associated with misuse. Introduction. Revise the section on animal nutrition in Lesson 2. Concepts and skills. Below are definitions of some of the terms that you'll study under this section. Use your textbook and underline all the new terms/words that you encounter while studying through the section. Use the glossary in your textbook to define these new terms/words. Note, at least 2 marks are awarded if you can define a term correctly in a test or examination. Homeostasis, the maintenance of a constant internal environment in the body. Insulin, hormone secreted by the pancreas and responsible for decreasing the glucose concentration in the blood. Glucagon, hormone secreted by the pancreas and responsible for increasing the glucose concentration in the blood. Glycogen, the form in which glucose is stored in the human body. Diabetes mellitus, a metabolic disease characterized by high glucose levels in the blood. Balanced diet, a diet which contains all the necessary nutrients in the correct quantities. Kosher, a diet where meat and dairy products are prepared entirely separately. Kwashiorkor, a form of malnutrition due to a lack of protein in the diet. Hormonal control of blood sugar levels. Study the flow diagram below. When the glucose levels in the blood increases above the normal level, the pancreas is stimulated to secrete insulin into the blood. Insulin is transported to the liver by the blood. In the liver and muscles, the insulin stimulates the conversion of excess glucose into glycogen. Insulin also stimulates the absorption of glucose from the blood into the body cells. Glucose is removed from the blood, and the glucose concentration in the body decreases. When the glucose levels in the blood decreases below the normal level, the pancreas is stimulated to secrete glucagon into the blood. Glucagon is transported to the liver by the blood. In the liver and muscles, the glucagon stimulates the conversion of glycogen into glucose. Glucose is released into the blood, and the glucose concentration in the body increases. Diabetes mellitus, a metabolic disease characterized by high glucose levels in the blood. When insulin is absent or not functioning effectively, most of the glucose remains in the human body, and this causes an increased blood glucose level called hyperglycemia. There are 2 types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, little or no insulin is produced and the person needs daily insulin injections. Type 2 diabetes, the pancreas produces insulin but the body cells cannot use it effectively. The person needs oral medication or insulin. Use your textbook and study the symptoms of diabetes mellitus as well as the treatment and management of type 1 and 2 diabetes. Balanced diet, a diet which contains all the necessary nutrients in the correct quantities. Diet should include energy foods, e.g. carbohydrates and lipids, building material, e.g. proteins, protective nutrients, e.g. vitamins and minerals. Different diets. Vegetarian, no meat, chicken, fish, or animal products are eaten. Vegan, only plant food and plant products are eaten. Halal, diet followed by people who belong to the Islamic faith. Certain foods such as pork and pork products are prohibited. Kosher, diet followed by people who belong to the Jewish faith. Pork, shellfish are prohibited. Meat and dairy products are not eaten or prepared together. Energy in food. Carbohydrates, lipids, and protein contain energy. The energy value in food is measured in kilojoules/kilocalories. Malnutrition. If a person does not follow a balanced diet, she will suffer from malnutrition. 2 types: undernutrition, eating too little food, and overnutrition, eating too much food. Malnutrition can lead to a variety of nutrition-related diseases/conditions, e.g. kwashiorkor, lack of protein; marasmus, lack of energy food; anorexia nervosa, psychological condition where a person refuses to eat. Although food is available; bulimia, psychological condition that includes an obsession to lose weight; obesity, person eats too much high-energy food. Use your textbook and study the symptoms and consequences of each of the nutrition-related diseases/conditions. Effects and dangers of alcohol and drug abuse. Use your textbook and study the effects and consequences of alcohol and drug abuse. Answer the following questions. Question 1. Some people with type I diabetes cannot produce insulin and therefore need to inject themselves regularly, insulin-dependent. An investigation was done to determine the action of 2 types of insulin, A and B. The glucose uptake rate of cells when using each type of insulin was measured over time. 1.1 Name the human organ that produces insulin. 1.2 Using the information in the graph, state 2 differences in the functioning of insulin A and B. Question 2. The graphs below show the effects of eating many small meals and eating fewer large meals on blood glucose and insulin concentrations in a normal person. The arrows on the graphs below indicate when meals were eaten. The normal blood glucose concentration is 100 mg per dl. 2.1 State what happens to the blood glucose concentration immediately after a meal is eaten. 2.2 Use the information in the graphs. Tabulate 2 ways in which eating fewer large meals and eating many small meals affect the blood insulin levels differently. 2.3 Explain why eating many small meals per day is better for a diabetic person than eating fewer large meals a day. Question 3. The following table shows the details of a meal eaten by a grade 11 learner. 3.1 Which food has the least overall nutritional value? 3.2 The total energy value of this meal is 5,000 kJ. In one day, this learner requires a total of 15,000 kJ energy. Calculate the proportion of daily energy needed that this meal provides. Show all calculations. 3.3 What could happen if this learner regularly ate more than 15,000 kJ per day? 3.4 Name 2 foods from the table that provide the most energy for the learner. Question 4. The following table shows the nutritional information on a breakfast cereal box. 4.1 Define a balanced diet. 4.2 How much dietary fiber, in grams, is found in 30 g of cereal only? 4.3 Which nutrient can be recommended for a person with kwashiorkor? 4.4 Draw a bar graph to show the average value of the nutrients in a 30-gram serving of cereal with 100 milliliters of skimmed milk. Common errors made by learners in examinations. Learners not familiar with basic terminology. Learners not able to interpret graphs and data in a table. Activities/assessment. Complete the activities/questions on this section in your textbook. Consolidation. Define all the terminology relevant to the topic covered in this lesson. Work through the activities/questions in your textbook. Note: the knowledge and skills gained in this section will help you to have a better understanding of the following sections that you still need to deal with, i.e. homeostatic control of blood sugar levels in grade 12. Values. By studying and learning about animal nutrition, you will develop an appreciation of the importance of a balanced diet and the negative effects of alcohol and drug abuse on the human body.